So some of you guys may have heard over the weekend that Australia went to the polls. Australia went and had an election. And the interesting thing about this is that there's a lot of similarities between this and President Trump winning 2016. But we'll get to that in a sec. Don't want to spoil it too much. So, coming up into the election, there was Labor continues to lead the coalition 52 to 48 in the latest essential poll. New Galaxy poll points to Labor victory. What to expect if Labor parties win? Election race remains tight, but Labor holds on to the lead. Labor maintains election-winning lead over coalition polls show. In this one it says 51% to 49%. Labor keeps election-winning lead over coalition as preferred PM. Contest narrows 52 to 48. In fact, people were so sure about this election and who was going to race that someone actually went through and put $850,000 on Labor to win. Now, to give you an idea, right, the rates for this was $1.10 for Labor to win and $7 for the LNP. Meaning that $850,000 bet probably would have only netted him around $1 million if Labor had won. If he had have backed the Liberals, who, spoiler, won the election, he would have made over $5.5 million. This is how sure people were that Labor were going to win the election. That someone was willing to put $850,000 down on the line on the off chance that Labor was going to win, and he was only going to get $1 million. It's not real good. It's not real good odds. Okay? Worst case scenario, you lose it and you lose your $850,000. Best case scenario, you win and you make around $200,000 more. Right? Not real promising odds compared to the $7 that they're paying out for the LNP to win, mind you, which I wish I had known about because I would have put money down myself. So what happened? Well, Labor didn't win. Despite all the polls, every poll, every article running up literally to the day before the election saying that Labor was going to win, they didn't exactly do that, did they? In fact, LNP has won 75 seats, needing 76 to win. AAP, or ALP, the Australian Labor Party, has only won 65. Now, these are seats. This isn't percentages or anything like that. And there are 6 others that have gone to, like, independents, minor parties and stuff like that. Now, the LNP at the moment still needs another seat. They still need to win one more seat to have the majority government or have a ruling government. If they can't get that, then they're going to have to turn around to one of these other 6 and make a deal and say, okay, we want your seat so that we get the 76 seats, and we will give you some influence in our decision-making policies. So everybody at the moment is asking, how did the polls get this wrong? How did Labor get this so wrong? Now, obviously, other people, like certain people that have an ego the size of a blimp, have came out and said that Scott Morrison can thank the United Australia Party, I think it was, anti-Labor ads as a result, and there may be a point to make with that. Clive Palmer was running a lot of ads online. I couldn't watch YouTube for a month before the election without seeing at least 3 of them in a 3-video selection. Yeah, he was running a lot of money, so you could maybe make that ad. You could maybe make that that claim, sure. But to me, the reason why they lost this is the same reason why Hillary Clinton lost the 2016 election. Mainstream media is too busy sitting in their echo chamber ivory towers to know what the actual common day folk want. They have lost touch with the people that are in the trenches of life. They are too busy sitting in their Canberra bubble to know what the rest of us want. This is literally Labor, who is running on a policy of taking money away from retirees in the franking credit system. And what were they planning on doing with that money? They wanted to open the borders and bring in more migrants. What? The same immigration policy that was hugely unpopular with the Australian population. In fact, they actually went through and did a poll on this a few months ago. And the Australians don't want more immigration. Let me see if I don't want immigration. I think it was around 76. 7 in 10. Here it is here. This is the opposite to what they run on. 7 in 10 Aussies don't want more immigrants. So what was their response? Let's have more immigrants. Let's take money away from the elderly and let's give it to the immigrants. Okay. Sure, we'll see how that went on the election. Actually, to be honest, we know how that went. Not very well. But regardless. And it wasn't just things like that. It was, for example, we're going to go through and we're going to, push this whole ban cars or ban, coal. We're going to get rid of our coal power stations. And we're going to go through and we're going to, do all this sort of environmentally, economically friendly sort of stuff. Okay. What was it going to do to to power prices? Oh, it was probably going to raise them. Oh, really? Because it's not like we have insane high power bills at the moment already. And your response is what? Make power bills higher again? Okay. Maybe not. I wonder why you guys lost the election. I wonder why. Yours was so massively unpopular. I might have a theory. Now look, obviously at the end of the day, I'm not complaining. I did not want Labor to win the election. Okay? I thought it was absolutely insane if they were going to win. They were going to screw the Australian economy. Labor has a very good idea of putting Australia in debt, regardless of the costs. And it's funny because actually, if you want to save the environment and if you want to do, the things for the environment, actually running your country in the positives and not in the negatives is actually a better idea. Less resources are needed to go through to pay the debts, to pay off the interest. It's a lot more better for the environment. You can actually make that point, that argument. But regardless, there can be a whole news topic, whole new video. But this is the thing. The Labor, the Australian politics are such an echo chamber. And obviously Scott Morrison's coming out now saying, I believe in miracles. Really? Because you had to talk to the average Joe Blow walking down the street. You wouldn't have thought it was a miracle. In fact, I was on national radio literally a few days before the election, and I said that LNP will most likely win the election with the help of a minor party. I said, I don't think they'll get there on their own. I think at the end of the day, they're going to have to go through and actually get help from another party. Now, they did better than I thought. I didn't think it was going to be a 75 win. I thought it was going to probably be closer to around a 73, 72, maybe. And then they're going to need like 3 or 4 seats. I didn't think they were going to need 1. They did better than I expected. But I did not see Labor's policies as being popular. You talk to anybody on the street, nobody liked their policies. Everybody thought that was crazy. They literally have farmers at the moment who are having to shoot livestock. And what did they want to do? They wanted to give the money not to the Australians, but to immigrants. Where have we heard this policy before? Where have we had the media get it so wrong? I wonder. Maybe we can travel back into time until 2016. And it's an example of exactly that. The Australian politics, the Australian media, the American media are too busy living in their little Labour/Democrat echo chambers to know what the average Joe Blow, the Aussie battler, the American Rust Belt worker, the whatever you want a terminology, it's all the same. The blue collar workers, the people that do the 40 years working, or 40 hours, sorry, working in the shops, or the 40 hours of people that work, at a service station or whatever it may be. What were they interested in? What was the average Joe Blow, as we would say in Australia, what was he interested in? Tax cuts, stopping immigration, and going through and helping out Aussies over the rest of the US, over the rest of the world. I wonder who ran on those policies. I wonder why they were more popular than Labour. But the funny thing is that Labour won't learn from this. And there was literally a meme going around a few months before the election. I think it was Hillary loses the unlosable election. Then it says, Bill Shorten, hold my beer. I've got this. I can lose the election more than you can. Because in Australia, we've had so much backstabbing, so much bickering, so much fighting within the LNP that it actually makes them a laughing stock of Australian politics. But at the end of the day, people would much rather vote for them, the laughing stock of Australian politics, than the Australian Labor Party. That's how unpopular your policies are, where you literally are not as popular as the laughing stock of Australian politics. And I don't think we're going to see any different in the next 4 years, in the next 8 years. We are going to see this divide between the Hollywood elites, the Australian politics elites, the Australian media, the American media, all of them the same, all over the world. It's all the same. They can't sit there and understand why people would be more interested in saving their own jobs, in people saving their own money, and rather giving it to the third world. Why people are more interested in lowering power prices than maybe inflating them because we want to go through and possibly save or maybe not save the environment. By the way, the environment is getting revenge on me right now because it's raining outside, but you get the idea. But I wonder how Labor lost the election. I wonder. And look, maybe you can make the argument that Clive Palmer had something to do with it. Sure, maybe. But at the end of the day, if your policies are that unpopular, that all it takes is Clive Palmer, who won like 3%, 6%, whatever of the election, to go through and to run YouTube ads and run ads highlighting how bad your policies are, that's what causes you to lose the election? That's still the problem, isn't it? Your problem is still the fact that your policies are not popular. People don't want this progressive bullshit. People don't want this bringing in an influx of immigrants. Australians want to look after Aussies. Australia wants low power prices. Lower than we're sure as shit paying right now. Australia wants to look after itself. And to people like Fraser Anning and Pauline Hanson, for the love of God, build up your grassroots movement or I'm going to have to fucking do it. And I don't want to. I don't want to run in politics. But for the love of God, do your job. Because at the moment you have 4 years. And this election race, it's getting tighter and tighter. It's getting harder and harder for the LNP to even win the election outright. You have 4 years now. Do a YouTube channel, start a website, whatever it may be. Constantly put out videos talking about the politics and the current situations that you like, you don't like. Build up your fan base. And we'll see those guys in 4 years. And I think we'll have a major difference when it comes to the polls. And I think we'll have a major, not a problem, but a major difference when it comes to the elections. Who knows? Maybe we might have a minority government. But guys, let me know what your thoughts are in that comment section below. What are your thoughts on the election in Australia? A, do you not care because it's not you? B, do you think at the end of the day that the Aussies just wanted to do what I did? Do you think at the end of the day they just want low power prices, better taxes, whatever it may be? We see this working over in America as well. Trump running on the same campaign of lowering income taxes and bringing back jobs. I wish Australia would take that last part as well. I'd like to see us start doing your own manufacturing again. You know, Scott Morrison, if you want to go through and maybe, you know, give those incentives back to the car industry. Let us know what your thoughts are in that comment section below. If this video has been helpful, please smack that like button. If you're new to the channel, welcome and subscribe. And apart from that, guys, I'm going to go and sing in the rain. Because it's a glorious, glorious day.